Hello and welcome to Totally Casual Gaming. I am Fontay, and this is week 4 on the Totally Casual Gauntlet. And today I'll be talking about Tomb Raider and Gravity Rush. Um, so I finished. What did I finish last? Not before Tomb Raider. I finished Last Guardian. That's what it was. I had a lot to talk about that. But I feel like Tomb Raider is really not a whole lot to talk about. It was kind of. I mean, it was a good game, more of an okay game, in between okay and good. So I guess I'd give it a 6, 5 being okay, 7.5 being good, so 6 out of 10. But then Gravity Rush was amazing, but I'll get to that. So first Tomb Raider, because I played that first. It was, like I said, okay. The controls were mostly good, except for every once in a while she would jump weirdly, or you would like try and put the pickaxe in the wall and she just wouldn't catch it. Stuff like that. It just kind of took away from it a little bit because it's like I feel like I should have gotten that, and you know that it's right, but that's just weird. The story was okay. I feel like I knew where it was trying to go, but it just didn't get there. It was trying to be like basically Laura becoming the raider she is that you know of, right? That from the original games on the PlayStation. But it just felt kind of like stuff's happening. She's having to deal with it, and like Tyler was saying in his previous video, basically that she's like just instead of stuff happening and her getting through it and it being a really hard challenge and just she has to survive, now she's just trying to save the world, which is Laura Croft like, where it's like she goes in for personal reasons, but then it comes out as, really dramatic and saving the world and like all this stuff. But I feel like that's not really like what the story should have been or what it was exactly trying to do necessarily. I think it was trying to show like that she's becoming the raider that she is today, but like through a extreme and like world saving sequence of events. But I feel like they could have done it a different way, made it a little bit more survivally like they did the first one. Make the sequences a little better, like from one sequence to the next, a little bit more fluid. Because it was just kind of like, oh, well, now you're here, and oh, now this is happening, and oh, now you're here, because stuff just kind of happened. Like it didn't feel to flow very well. It was just kind of like, oh, you're doing this, and then, oh, now this happened out of nowhere. So I think they were trying to make twists, but they weren't good, I guess. It's really weird. Anyway, the characters were meh as well. Like, they're not very memorable. There's like, obviously Laura, but like, there are two female characters that I got mixed up, I think. I don't even remember. That's how unmemorable they are. And then the one male character, besides the villain, of course, is like, he's all right. He's like the, special guy or whatever that you like, I don't know, work with and stuff. I don't know. It wasn't well made, but it wasn't awful. I think just the story and progression and stuff like that takes away from the gameplay itself, where you have the controls and the combat, which the combat's good, and I like that they make it to where you can regenerate health, like in like Call of Duty or something, but also you can craft a little med kit that you use to immediately get health back, and then the upgrades in the like stats and stuff. So as you do things, you get survival points, which basically use that to upgrade your character, to upgrade Laura. And those were nice. Some seemed kind of useless, but then you'd pick them up, and then they'd be like, "Oh, this is actually something useful." So it's kind of nice that way. But for the most part, like the gameplay was, I'd say, an 8, including combat controls and stuff like that. Controls were a little wonky, that's why it gets knocked down, and then gameplay was like mostly the upgrade system, where it's like most of them are kind of like where you just You don't know if it's necessary, but it's nice. So it docks another point. So I give it an 8, but then like story and stuff, like characters and everything is like a 4. So that's why it gets like a 6 in between. And so because that story really knocks down the gameplay and stuff. So. Okay, so on to Gravity Rush, which is what I played next. Both games weren't really too long. That's why I got through 2 games. Gravity Rush definitely wasn't that long at all. But it was a PSP game, to be fair, and then it's a remastered for PlayStation 4. So it actually looks really nice. They remastered it very well, and I love the art style. I love. Oh yeah, by the way, Lara Croft is beautiful. Just throw it out there. Anywhere you go, it's like nice scenery, nice background, nice backdrop, all that stuff. But anyway, Gravity Rush is beautiful too because you got the whole city. Anything you see, you can go to. I think for the most part. And if you don't know the premise, basically you have gravity powers, which you're able to change gravity for yourself. You can walk on walls, you can fly. I mean, basically, because you make gravity go left, so then you're going left. And so, yeah, and then you can use that to attack. And the combat's a little weird at first, but once you get used to it, it's just different, I think. Once you get used to it, it's actually not that bad. It's a little wonky at times, but it doesn't take away from anything. So it's like, it's weird because it's like, it feels like it should be a little bit better, but it doesn't take away from the game itself, which is weird to say, but it's just how it is. If you've ever played the game, I think you'd understand. So the controls are nice. It's a little weird, again, like it's a little weird to get used to because you have a full 3D 360 range to go in. So you have to learn how to kind of move the camera, control your direction, how you control your direction, which they actually make it really nice. You just point in the direction, then you press the button to go that way. And then you have your, like gravity bar, which basically your power bar, where you, like once it's empty, you lose your power, you just fall. But what's really nice is that they add a little touch where it's like you have your hair and your cape, because sometimes you don't have your cape, but basically everything on you is obviously gravity controlled. And so if you're walking on the wall, your clothing and hair is falling down, so you know that the actual gravity is down. And if you're on the ceiling, then it's above you, and so you know that the gravity's below you. And so if you're like at a weird angle and you're like you've gone all over the place, you don't know which way is down necessarily. You always have that original gravity. So you are able to walk in a direction, but everything on you, like your clothing and hair, is controlled by normal gravity. So that's a nice touch. So then you can always know which way is normal gravity. So if you can like go on a ledge and have to use your power or not. So that's really nice. The story's great. It knows exactly what it wants to be. It does exactly what it's, I think, intended to do. And there's not really any hiccups as far as I could tell in the story. I think the way the game is and just the way it feels kind of like gives the story the ability to kind of just be silly and kind of be random. Because there's one point where you get sent on a mission to get a piece of paper, and then this whole expedition happens, which I'm not going to make any spoilers, but basically, yeah. And so then it's like, but I feel like the game, just the feel of it, allows it to do that, which is really interesting. I really like that. Flying's a lot of fun because you can just go anywhere, do anything, and basically have fun with it. I mean, you pick up gems to upgrade yourself, and you can just fly from a building, feels like a mile that way to here to pick up a couple gems, and you're just flying, and it just feels great. I love the idea of flying, and so that really gave me a lot of fun. And so then the upgrade system is great. It's actually really nice. It doesn't specify like, oh, your strength is this, but it's like, okay, so your kick is this strong out of how many you can do. So it's like, okay, you can upgrade to 10 and you're at 7. And so, well, as a better example, say you start at 1 and you can upgrade to like 8, I think at first, or 5. But you get the first like extra bonus pretty early, so you can go to 8. That's another thing is like as you go through the story, your reputation increases, which allows your upgrades to be able to be your max upgrade to be more. So you start at like 5 upgrades, and then you get to like 12 or something by the end. So you don't just upgrade like your kick all the way, and then you're just super strong, and you whoop everybody's butt. It's really nice, and you use the gems that you collect from stories and missions and challenges and just the world you can pick up. You use those to upgrade, and it's really nice because it's like you can feel the upgrade. You can feel that like when you upgrade how much power bar you have, you can feel you're able to fly longer, you're able to sit on a building longer, you're able to do more stunts. With like kick, the power of your kick, how strong you kick the enemies and do damage, you can feel that you're kicking them less, or you feel more powerful when you upgrade. And it's like every upgrade is a little upgrade, but just enough to be significant. It's like they upgrade the perfect amount. And I really hope Gravity Rush 2 holds up to all of that, which I'm not going to do Gravity Rush 2 next. I'm actually doing Fallout right now. And I started over, and I'm almost back to where I was before, but I'll talk about that next week. So, yeah, the upgrades are really good on Gravity Rush, and I think it's perfectly well made. Obviously, it's got its little problems, but doesn't take away all these pros. Like, just make the game amazing, and nothing about the cons. I don't know if Tyler talked about this in his video. I haven't watched this video this week, but if he hasn't, I'm going to go and say it anyway. We both played Resident Evil 7, but we're not going to talk about it on this because Frankie is going to play it when I get home. And so we're all going to be there. Frankie's going to be scared out of his wits. Me and Tyler are going to have... my freaking mom can't figure out the person's names. Me and Tyler are going to have a lot of fun with it, see Frankie terrified, also be able to talk about whatever we want, and maybe help about the game because we played it already. And Tyler played it again, and he got 3 hours completion, and there's a trophy for 4 hours completion, so he knows the game like the back of his hand, probably. I only played it through once, and I don't really feel like playing it again. I mean, it's not that it wasn't good. It was great. It was amazing. It's just kind of one of those games for me that's like, I have to take a long time before I can play it again. So yeah, basically that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, or have anything you want to tell me, or have any questions or game requests, or maybe something like that, then leave it in the comments, and I'll get to it. So thanks for watching again. Bye-bye.